Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the terrace. It's a lovely day here in Cairns. The sun's out after a weeks of rain, and I'd just like to talk about what we've been discussing in the last few weeks and try and summarize it into a word that hit me, that brings everything that I received into a place. And it was where I was thinking about Yahusha's control. The word control, and control means to rule. And there were so many things that came into control. Yahusha's control of ourselves, who's in control, where do we go, how do we control, not control. And the scriptures offer various perspectives on control. And it says both Alahim's sovereignty and rule. He is our sovereign, he is the sovereignty, he is the king, he is our ruler. And the importance of personal self-control. So there's two different things here. Yahusha's control, his sovereignty, and our own personal self-control, controlling of ourselves. Scripture highlights Alahim's ultimate control over all things. He's our creator, including human lives and events. So he has control over these things. Also, the scriptures encourage believers to exercise self-control in their thoughts, our actions, our emotions, and recognizing it as a fruit of the Spirit, which we went into in detail before. Self-control tells us the scriptures emphasize the importance of self-control as a key virtue. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit, essential for living a clean life and resisting temptation. So greater is a man that can control himself than whole cities, it says, bringing no mixture into the home or our vessels. So having that self-control and knowing what's right and wrong. But what does Yahusha say about being in control? He's in control. What does he say? What does his word say? In the scriptures, I'd just like to go Yahusha's control and his sovereignty. Think about that. Think about how he is in control and he is the sovereign. He is the leader, the king, the ruler of this world. In Proverbs 19:21, many are the plans in a person's heart. How many are there? But it is Yahusha's purpose that prevails. Doesn't matter what you do and where you go and what you want to have and do and be, but his purpose prevails. People may have their own plans, but Alahim's ultimate plan and purpose is what really happens. You see, so many times you come up against a brick wall and things don't work, and you keep going and you keep trying your way and trying your plan and trying to force it through. In Yahusha, he has the ultimate purpose in what really happens. His plan and his purpose prevails. Have you noticed that in your life? When everything else fails and you sit back and you think, wow, why did I go through all that? Well, look at the energy I put out. Look at what I've done and how much I've been striving to get to this place. But his plan brings us back into his truth. In Jeremiah it says, I know, O Alahim, that a man's fate is not in his own hands, nor is it in his power to direct his steps. How many people don't know this? They don't know that their fate is not in their hands. They don't realise. And their power It is in his power to direct our steps. So how much do we need Yahusha and his leading in our life? We're needing that, and that's what I was getting through all the discussions we've been going through, the control, the ultimate sovereign control that Yahusha has in our lives. Are we letting him have that? Are we giving that up, giving our way up and allowing him to come in because he owns us? In Romans 8:28 says, and we know that in all things Alahim works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So we've been called according to his purpose. All things Alahim works for the good of those who love him. We need to be in loving him, not against him and wanting our way. So we are called according to his purpose, not our purpose, what we think. So Yahusha's active role in orchestrating events for the benefit of us, for the believers. He's putting things in place for our benefit. He's working things. He's doing things in our lives. If we're aware and we're awake at what's happening, we will see. In Ephesians 1:11 it says, in him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in accordance with the purpose of his will. So look where we are. We've been predestined. Yahusha chose us before the beginning of time, before. He chose us. He called us. He chose us according to the plan of him who works out everything. So if we give ourselves to Yahusha and go through his vein of deliverance, he works out everything. And haven't you seen some of that happen? My goodness, I've seen, looking back at the horrendous, amazing, grueling, unbelievable way that I thought and how I lived and my attitudes and my behaviour, how cruel and how just unworthy I've been to even receive what Yahusha has given us, because he's predestined and preordained a plan for believers, and his ultimate control is over all things. You look back and you think, wow, this is so incredible how he's drawn me out, taken me out of situations that I thought were totally impossible. The importance of self-control for us. This is it for us. Yahusha is in control, complete control, but he also wants us to have control of ourselves, the self-control, where we need the self to be in control in his will, but not want to control everyone and everything else around. It's the self we need to look at and control and keep in control above everything. Because Proverbs 25 tells us, like a city whose walls are broken down is a person who does not control their temper. I've had that rage, that anger, that temper in me, and it's so destructive. We need self-control as our personal defense and stability. Otherwise, we're just wild, like a wild animal going around, and that it's for us. This is for us. It's for our personal defense and stability. This is where we can grasp this. In 2 Timothy, for Yahusha did not give us a spirit of fear. He didn't give us a timid spirit, but of power and love and self-control, self-discipline. This is the spirit that he's given us. I used to have a fear of heights. And my husband said to me the other day, he said, "Why do you fear heights?" And I just said, "Oh, I just always have. He said, "Well, you don't have to. You don't have to have that fear. Where does that thought and that fear come from?" "Oh, just the fear of falling and of, accidents and all that." I mean, that's all thoughts that come into my head. If I put them aside, well, no, I don't want to have that fear anymore. It's a choice, making up my mind. Yeah, I can go there. Make my mind up and say, yeah. For Yahusha did not give us. He's emphasizing that Yahusha provides the ability and the way out for us for self-control. Let's just continue to Mark 7. It tells us it's clear that our acts flow from our heart. An abusive person chooses to do what they do because they want what they want. What comes out of a man is what defiles him. What comes out of a woman is what defiles her. And this is very real in today's age in relationships. We're talking about that a lot. And the husband and wife, the man and the woman, how they act together, and what the woman does to a man, I could see is disgusting. How they want to control. I've wanted to control my husband. I wanted to mould him into what I thought my family, my upbringing, my way of how I thought a man should be and treat a wife and conduct themselves and all this. And so the battle was on because my husband didn't go into protocols, just wanted the truth. And so I fought until Yahusha came in and showed me in no uncertain terms and gave me the truth of where I should go and how I should be and treat correctly. And it's a sad state of affairs. I don't know any other believing women who want to give up this control and give up the world and its worldly ways and not have the mixture and have loving relationships together. So I'm fighting for this in my life. I just want to go into a summary and say a desire for control is often linked to fear, anxiety, and a lack of trust in Yahusha's provision. That's true. I couldn't trust Yahusha completely. I had to go and do things and try and work out finances and ways and work and business. And like I said, running up against a brick wall so many times, making mistakes and causing chaos so bad in my relationship. So it was fear, anxiety, because that creates anxiety and you're anxious and you're all fussed up all the time because you're striving, and a lack of trust. We don't trust Yahusha entirely that he will provide. And yet he says, look at the flowers, we just take the scripture just like it's just other words, but it's true, it's real. These are underlying issues of control-seeking behaviours in relationships and our personal lives. And this is where I've gone in fighting to be in control, not to give that control up. Who's the head of the home, and to let my husband have it. We were talking about driving the other day and how I want to correct him all the time in his driving. And I've been incessant, picking things out that are wrong all the time. Just being this aggressive, controlling wife. Who would want to stay like the drip of a tap, the nagging? It's so against Yahusha's plan. And all I needed to do was to trust Yahusha and give myself completely to him, and things work out. He's delivered me and he's setting me free. He's set me free from this dreadful torture I was putting myself in, and this position I was putting myself in where I knew better. Control-seeking behaviour can be stopped by trusting. That's true. Trusting in Alahim and letting go of fear. There is no fear in perfect love. We say this. This is his word. But look, take it. Put it into our lives. That all-important rule is to let everyone have what they want to say or do without a complaint and fuss, but genuine understanding. Let everyone have it. I never did that. I wanted to let people know who I was. And don't take things personal. Oh, everything was just upset me. You've upset me. You've said something that's upset me. This is Yahusha's way, not Yahusha's way at all. But Scripture tells us it's important to be humble and to have a servant attitude. That's contrasting it with the desire for dominance and control, and the strict adherence to rules and protocols always needed to be what I thought and what I learnt and rules and protocols of the world mean nothing to Yahusha. This is what I've learned, and it's so exciting to get free of all that status and social swill that I was brought up in. Fantastic. I feel a lot freer for this. The Scriptures encourage believers to trust Alahim's plans and leave control to him. He's the controller. He is the sovereign. This means surrendering to Alahim's will and letting go of the need to manage every aspect of our life. Trusting and believing and letting go. He will take care of things. Scripture promotes humility with a servant spirit as the way to live peacefully. Don't be knowing everything and giving the answer and being the know-all all the time. This is where I've been. Knowing everything. Scripture promotes humility with a servant spirit as the way to live peacefully. The golden rule is in Matthew 7. In everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. How you want to be treated? That's how you treat others. This rule is a summary of the believer's duty. You want it in a nutshell? Bring it to that. Yahusha is in control, and what you want others to do for you, you do for them. So we can run like an athlete, striving for that prize, and give the importance of discipline and self-control, going after spiritual goals, much more important than anything that I see or do in this worldly life. It's so much more exciting and important. Of course, we need to run a house and run our daily duties, but that's not the be-all and end-all. Yahusha's spiritual life in us, we need that life. We need to keep his spirit alive. Can we see Yahusha's control and sovereignty over all things? Can you see? And it may not look like it by the way the world's going when you're looking at seeing what's happening in this world. Oh my goodness. But as spiritual beings, we can see now what's the use in fighting. As we are cleaning out the final skerricks of the mixture in our quarries to be fully free of all the entanglements that hold us. We are not our own. We've been bought by our deliverer's blood that has cleansed us from all our wrongs. How miraculous, how amazing. All those memories of things that you've been and done, Yahusha's taken and forgiven you. He forgives. Forgiveness is given to us so we can have a clear mind, not full of guilt. We can have that clarity. How wonderful. Brothers and sisters, I hope this is resonating in you, showing you His sovereignty, His rule, His plan in your life, where He wants to take you. And what a horrendous but exciting journey when I look back and can only say, well, Yahusha, you have patience and have worked an astounding miracle in my life to be able to unravel the impossible twisted madness that I was living in with what my family were into and my friends and what I was into and how I turned out living my life my way in the world full of disaster. I was just mad in an insanity where I couldn't talk. I couldn't express myself. I was shut down because of the sin in me. I give in, Yahusha, and let you have it. I give in all the way, your truth. And you are the life I've been searching for all these years. Thank you, Yahusha. Thank you, guys, for listening, and I hope to see you again. Bye for now.